Guys, so my name is Renata and I go by Indie Soul. I am here to welcome you to me and my mom's sewing podcast, conversation, chat room, whatever you want to call it, where we will give you the real behind sewing. We're going to tell you a little bit about how things go on as far as the sewing industry, talk about patterns, talk about new releases, share with you tips and tricks we've learned along the way, and talk about two different generations of sewers coming together to just keep the art of sewing going. So we are excited to share with you and just bring you along on our journey. We thank you for watching and so glad you stopped by. So my inspiration to start sewing, you could say largely started at a young age, flipping through Vogue magazines, Cosmo 17, National Geographic, oddly enough. And that was like the start of it. Definitely gaining inspiration for fashion, just loving fashion, knowing that I wanted to be a fashion designer, even though I totally didn't believe it was possible. But that is where my love of sewing started. So another part of my inspiration would be my mom, definitely seeing her growing up, creating designs and interiors to make our home beautiful. Also seeing like generations of sewers, my great-grandmother, my grandmother actually sew quilts and clothing and things like that. And yeah, I did see them same country culottes. But you know, that's the beauty of sewing. You can create what you love and what you like. And I ran across Mimi G's page, and she actually had a lot of tutorials teaching young ladies how to sew. And she was actually like the push for me to purchase a sewing machine and just give it a try. And what I had to get over is that I was just standing in my own way, that me purchasing a sewing machine, like it was all mine. Like I could do whatever I wanted. Definitely say my favorite things to make are dresses. I love making me a good romper, especially those that are structured or utilize like more utility fabric. And I just love it because it gives it like that cargo kind of worn look. And that brings me to like my most favorite thing to do, which is rehab denim. I love turning old things into new things. My least favorite things, and I'm trying to get over it, is probably dress shirts, things with collars and buttons. And I'm definitely trying to work my way around that. I got over my little fear of zippers, so pants aren't as scary. But have you seen a pants pattern? It's pretty traumatizing. And I don't like patterns that don't have steps and expect you to know what's next. I would say I have a lot of sewing goals, and that's just the way I live my life. Like my mom thinks I'm like so over the top, but I would say a few of my sewing goals are, hold on, let me pull out my list. So one of my first sewing goals is definitely to do a part 2 of our fashion show. I want to sew up all of this fabric so I can buy new fabric. Like, why hang on to this and hoard when I can buy new stuff? And I definitely want to launch some items to sell, and kind of launch the beginning of a entrepreneurial side of things. I would love to open my own fabric store because I love fabric. I know I can't get in my bed, but I love it. And lastly, so my mama can shut up, stop skipping steps. Like actually follow the pattern through and through and not have to Negro engineer. Just saying. So I will say, as far as horror stories, for me, that's kind of a strange concept because like my mama says, I do skip a lot of steps. So a lot of times, like I'm making it more efficient. I'm doing what works for me. You know what? Don't worry about what she talking about. She don't know what she be talking about. But anywho, I would say my worst horror stories is like right when I get to the end. And I'm a curvy girl, so I tend to not surge until the end. And when I surge and it literally rips a hole or changes the integrity of the garment, that is like such a buzzkill. Like I literally have cried over things because I got to the end and my garment died. You know, like, but I don't know. It just takes time to process things. I would say those are my horror stories. Outside of sewing is I definitely love to spend time with my family. I would love to do more traveling, which is going to take me away from my sewing machine. And I would say anything creative that I get to use my hands, I get to open my mind and think about different ways to create. I would also say I love being social. Like I love a girls' night out. Pretty big into organizing things. That's probably my OCD speaking. And I mean, sewing is kind of encompasses everything I like to do. So that's what I like to do. So I'm so excited about this journey for me and my mom because I know how much sewing like has brought us together, gave us like something to be passionate about. It's been very therapeutic in both of our journeys. And it's just something we can do together. She is literally like almost like a built-in best friend. And even though I don't like her to watch me sew, you know, she definitely gives great advice, sometimes unsolicited, but she definitely has my back and I can just always be myself with her. So I think we can definitely bring joy to the sewing community and just share a lot of ourselves with others. And, you know, I think it'll definitely be interesting and I think y'all should stay tuned. Just saying.